I just really realized something. I kind of went down a rabbit hole of an emotion and it unlocked something that I wanted to share. But, when you use coping mechanisms to defend yourself, when you have a fear of people hurting you, you will be defensive. You will always live in a defensive state. And that fear of somebody hurting you leads to all types of coping mechanisms that really keep intimacy from actually happening. So you don't even feel intimacy with yourself because you're always in a battle formation, ready to go to war, and you become hyper vigilant and you perceive things to be a threat that aren't really a threat to you. When this is happening, it's a reflection of we left our childhood home, but our childhood home didn't leave us. So, see, you can take the person out the trauma, but you can't take the trauma out the person. We have to do that inner work to remove the need to be defensive. And so what happens is there are certain type of energetic parasites. Once they recognize that this is your pattern and that you hurt other people when you get defensive and you lack emotional control to be able to respond in compassionate ways, when you attract energetic parasites that attach to your auric field, your biofield, and they will instigate more of whatever that traumatic experience was. So they will say things to you that will translate something that's happening in real time using a filter from your past. And because that filter is plastered over it, you got like trauma colored glasses. And so you're going to perceive that moment to be some type of attack. Somebody is either not looking out for you or trying to hurt you. And this could be with your kids, this could be with your partner. I mean, this I'm talking about people that you know love you. And the energetic charge, when it's really strong, this is why the root of a lot of relationship issues is toxic emotional reactivity. And it's not knowing how to react in ways that aren't hurtful and toxic. And so what happens is because these parasites need you to keep feeding it, they're going to continue to translate whatever you're perceiving through what's happening in a way to keep you in that loop. And the longer you stay in that loop and you keep feeding them, not only are you shattering other people's biofield, which shatters their immune system because the two are connected. Being able to self protect from the outside world and being able to protect ourselves spiritually from energetic parasites, the two are connected. And so this is like we actually break each other's will, we break each other's spirit when we do and say hurtful things that's coming from a place of trauma, coming from a place of wounding. And so these parasites, they see you as their number one food source. So they're going to do everything they possibly can to keep you in this trauma loop. Now, I witnessed myself going through this, and I am someone who does shadow work every day. Unless I'm really needing some self-love and doing shadow work. So what happened was I went through the mind body soul portion of healing certain traumas, identifying certain coping mechanisms, and then there were very specific things that I would use as a response to things that were emotionally charged for me. So if someone said something and it brought me back to an old trauma or hurt my feelings or I felt like I was being attacked or I felt like I wasn't being appreciated, instead of instantly responding, I had a process that I teach called OBB. And OBB stands for an out of body experience. And so I would step outside of my body using my awareness so that I could perceive it differently than the wounded inner child in me was perceiving that moment. And I did it over and over and over again. If you got people around you that have dysfunctional patterns and are emotionally dysregulated, you got a lot of good practice. Use it for that, okay? Don't let these situations use you. You're supposed to be using your trauma and turning your trauma into something else, turning your pain into purpose, right? So we talk about healing parasites physically, but energetically, we also need to be aware of the parasites that may be attached to us. And when you start healing your mindsets, if you use the meditations that I have to help you reconnect with your I divine self, all of these things will help you. I introduced your wounded inner child to your shadow self and to your I divine self, and I bring you into a space where they can all learn to trust each other, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. And so if you have that, especially for men, because of the way they are metaphysically engineered to move and project energy, all of the masculine attributes are usually stronger in men that identify more with the masculine. So when they project out this energy from their own wounding, it is, if you could see it energetically, it's like shock waves that move through the air. And if they have a hypersensitive woman or children or people around them, it could really, really jolt their nervous system when they experience secondhand emotional dysregulation. And so controlling your reality is based in you being able to control your emotional regulation. So it don't matter how much spiritual activation you're getting, if you don't have things in place for emotional regulation, it's going to be hard to get out of this soul contract with energetic parasites that stay with us from lifetime to lifetime, from one life to the next life until you cut the cord. So when you talk about breaking cycles and healing generational curses, what you're really doing is you're purging the entities that instigate specific coping mechanisms, such as narcissism. This is connected to an energetic parasite. It's a way that a person has learned to self-protect themselves. Codependency. It's a way that we learn to care for other people more than ourselves. So we have specific types of parasites that attach to us. When you start purging this and healing your mind, your body, and your soul, when you're doing all three, okay, and you start working through this and you start emptying this emotional trauma that's stored in your body, especially the shoulders, neck, low back, and hips. When you start releasing that, what happens is you create a vacuum for the stuff that you desire to come into your life, and it's not going to require you to overextend yourself and burn yourself out to have things. Some of the things that a lot of us want, the reason we don't have them is because we haven't discovered exactly what I'm talking about now is actually the new way of materializing these things into your physical reality. You attract it instead of going and getting it, going and taking it, you learn to be an attractor. And so when you make this space and you open this room up, now you can receive from the universe the things that you desire, and they will come with ease. But the key is trusting yourself so much where you don't feel like you always have to be defensive with other people. Nothing is never personal unless we make it personal. And that is our number one hang up right now.